All right, welcome to another episode of Question Everything or whatever this is. I don't know anymore. We are going to be teaching you why it's imperative for you to just start your YouTube channel. Like, what are you waiting for? So, as a guest today, I have Joe's Phenomenal. He's going to be coming on and telling you all of the things that you need to know in order for you to not just start, but start, keep going, and be successful at it, because YouTube can change your life. It is partnering with a multi-billion-dollar company that will pay you to send you ideal clients. I'll say that again. They are paying you to send you more of the people that you can sell to, entertain, change lives for. And I'm just going to cut straight to it and bring him on. He is backstage right now. Joe, you ready? Give me a thumbs up. There's a thumbs up. All right, let's do this. Your life is about to be changed. You've been warned. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know if we're changing lives so much, but
spoken like a true life changer.
Could maybe some I could maybe bore the hell out of a few people.
Well, this is what you consider boring. Sign me up, man. That's the only kind of board I'm into. Let's do this.
Okay,
so
what were we talking about? We're talking about people who want to start a YouTube channel, huh? From scratch.
From scratch.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for all these. Like, I'm just all discombobulated. I just got your thumbnail just posted a second ago.
Hey, you know what? It takes what it takes, right?
Yep. Okay, so starting a YouTube channel. There's the reason I wanted to get on here and talk to you about this is because there is an awful lot of information out there with tips that directly conflict each other.
Yes.
Everywhere. So if I were somebody, right, and I fell victim to this too, you don't want to upload your first video because you don't think you can. It's like, okay, well, somebody's telling me just to upload. Somebody else is telling me that you need to get like some of these things right first. Some people say you need to make a bunch of videos and not upload them to practice first. And then, you know, there's just so much on there. And also, one of the things that I picked up that I noticed a lot at Vid Summit when we went there last year was the amount of people that tell you not to think of it as a business. And that they kind of made me disqualify people immediately. As soon as that comes out of somebody's mouth, I understand where people are going with that and where they're coming from, but that is with the understanding that a business is boring and a business is just like some kind of, you know, you're going to be a slave to the white collar crowd or whatever. It's not what you think. It's not like having a business. It's more like treating it like one.
Yeah.
And I think that's very difficult for people that have never run a business before.
Oh yeah.
Because
to not understand what business means. Business is solving problems for a profit.
Yes. If you want to make some money doing something, that by definition is a business. As a business. If you want to go race remote control cars or something, and you want to win the first prize and get money, to me, that's a business.
Yeah.
You have to treat it that way. So what are you going to do? You're going to go buy the best parts. You're going to research the best tactics for driving. You're going to upgrade your shocks and stuff. You're going to get better radios. You're going to try to get onto a team. I mean, you're doing a lot of things to improve it that you would do if you were running a business too, because you are in competition with other people, right?
And so you have to invest in the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, oh, well, you know what? I just have this passion. I want to make these videos and share my passion with people. And that's great. But if you are someone who will just make your videos and you don't care at all if anybody watches it, then that's something different. But if you want to make money out of it, then you can't have that attitude. You have to be, okay, I need to find a way to get this to the maximum amount of people, and I need to find a way to get advertisers interested in advertising on my videos, or people coming to sponsor me or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't treat it, if you don't respect that portion, then you can't expect people uh, to give you the time of day or to invest in you. See what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't invest in yourself, how will anyone else invest in you?
Right,
Now,
exactly. Mhm.
you mentioned like doing things to make sure that people are interested or want to, advertise or spend money with you. What do some of those things look like? Like, what's that process look like?
Well, one thing people say is that, oh, your subscriber count doesn't matter. You probably heard this a lot.
Mhm,
Your subscriber count doesn't matter because subscribers don't dictate the number of views you get on a video, yada, 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 right? Like
mhm,
you can have 1,000 subscribers, you can have 1,000,000 subscribers. It doesn't matter. I hear that an awful lot. But those same people, especially YouTube help channels,
mhm.
will go onto their community post and they'll ask you how many subscribers you got this week, or they'll say, you know what I mean, or they'll
Yeah.
have a live stream and says get more subscribers, and that's the name of the live stream. Well, if getting subscribers doesn't matter, then why are you asking people if they want to get more subscribers? That's because it's because they're clickbaiting you
Yeah,
on the thumbnail.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the only thing that I can think of is they're meeting their audience where they are and hopefully transforming them to where they need them to be, but that's
Hmm.
not always the case. Like,
Yes.
if you don't confirm the click after whatever the clickbait is, or at least confirm that, yes, this is what you came for, but that's not what you need. This is what you need, and we're gonna take you on that path.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's right on the money right there.
Okay.
Um, the thing is, if you are an advertiser, um, for instance, let's say you are the marketing rep for, we'll say Frigidaire, since I got the Frigidaire oven right back there,
All
and
right.
you are looking, you have X number of dollars uh, to divvy out for advertising on social media because you've
Mm,
heard someplace that social media influencers get more business than advertising on television, which is very, very true these days.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
who are you going to, being someone who probably isn't like, doesn't know YouTube's algorithms and stuff like that, being a marketing, you know, like a marketing rep,
Mhm.
which, who are you going to go for? The guy with 10 million subscribers who's getting 30 million views a month? Or Joe's Phenomenal, who's got 50,000 subscribers and gets a couple 100,000 views a month? See what I mean?
Well,
If you don't have any of the other metrics, all you have is size and number of views on the channel.
ideally, I'd want them to go for Joe, but we all know
Yeah,
the reality is they're gonna go for the one with the 10 million
right.
subscribers, and
And that's, yeah,
yeah,
and that's because you don't know who I am. You just see numbers. And
yeah,
for most advertisers, the subscriber count is extremely important. That's a very important metric
yeah,
because although subscribers don't directly, well, actually they do, but we'll talk about that in a second.
mm,
Although subscribers aren't the only indicator of how popular a channel is and how much traffic it gets, um, it is a very important metric, and it also shows an advertiser that you, as a creator, know how to get people to subscribe to your channel. See what I
mm,
mean? Like you did something to make a lot of people click a subscribe button. So it means you got a lot of people that like you, or a lot of people that you tricked into subscribing to your channel somehow through a YouTube Shorts or whatever.
right,
You
right,
know what I mean? You had something that went way viral or something, but you
yeah,
figured out a way to get eyeballs.
mm,
And that is the only thing advertisers care about is eyeballs.
yeah.
You're going to say something, are you going to say something sort of borderline controversial? Oh, but you got hundreds of millions of eyeballs. Well, sometimes,
I mean,
the
I feel
controversy
like
is okay, right?
Yeah, I feel like the controversy is okay until it gets to Kanye level, and they got to drop your deal, right?
Right, but look how far Kanye went
Yeah, it's
before they
true.
had to start dropping his deals.
Yeah,
And it was because he started getting way too far off the deep end. But
yeah.
they were happy. They were very Dylan Mulvaney. They were very happy with Dylan Mulvaney right up until they weren't happy with Dylan Mulvaney with the Budweiser commercials.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I
See what I
wasn't
mean?
wrong.
It got it because it kind of went over the edge a little bit, and it garnered enough controversy to where it started to hurt the brand, and then they backed off of it,
Mm,
which actually hurt them even more for backing off because you can't really go a certain direction and then just reverse it. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, you
Without
gotta
saying anything. Yeah.
commit to it. If you're gonna be in, be all in.
Right. If you're gonna do it, I mean, everybody knows, what all that was about. And it doesn't matter whether you support it or you don't support it or whatever. But just have some balls. I mean, if you are gonna go in, then go all in. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So, um, a lot of people, myself included, for years I was waiting to have the perfect video or the perfect setup or have everything perfectly aligned to start. Why is that a fallacy? Like, why should people not wait to be perfect to start?
Because it'll never be perfect. There's
Hmm.
no such thing. There is no such thing. If I was waiting for perfect, I would have 0 videos uploaded. It starts messy. Your first videos are going to suck. They're going to suck so bad, no matter what kind of preparation you do, that you're going to be embarrassed to watch them back again.
God, is that
Go
the
look at
truth?
like the first 20 or 30 videos, maybe first 50 videos that I've made. They're cringy.
Yeah.
Cringe. It was, I had no personality. I'm just looking into the camera like this. It's like, hi, I am Joe. Well, yeah. Here's the this mixer. Well, yeah, this kind of like that.
Yeah.
It was like that. And I watch it back, editing. I'm like, oh, this is freaking awesome. Woo, yeah. Everybody's gonna watch this shit. And then you upload it. And it's like, I got 5 views in a week.
Hey, it's
Like,
better than
these
mine.
people don't know what they want. These people are crazy. And it's always everybody else. It's never you. It's the YouTube algorithm. I'm being shadow banned. That's what it is.
Right.
And it's always because, well, Ninja Kitchen got all these views. Like, well, Ninja Kitchen's got a following.
Mhm.
They which is kind of funny because like I get more views on Ninja products than Ninja does, but it's because their format is like a TV commercial.
Yeah.
They
Nobody
don't,
wants to watch any more
yeah, they
commercials.
don't get it. It's just they're like re-uploading a commercial to their YouTube channel. That's not why people go to YouTube.
No. They go to YouTube for you.
In fact, you can see a lot of news channels and stuff have tried to migrate into the YouTube space, and they don't. You could tell they're trying to structure it the exact same way they did. Like a good example is Ben Shapiro, the conservative analyst guy.
Mm.
He has got an
With it.
ad every 2 minutes in his videos. It's like every 2 minutes. It's 2.5 minutes, something like that.
Wow.
It's so irritating, and it's just, I don't care if he's saying something that you were really, really interested in. You can't sit there and watch endless ads. In fact, he gets people give him crap all the time because it makes it impossible to watch. But if this is a radio show, you expect that because on radio shows they have ads constantly.
Yeah,
Or
that's what
on
pays for it.
TV. Yeah, on TV, if you're even watching like a sitcom or something that's like a 30-minute sitcom, usually it's about 16 or 17 minutes of actual sitcom and the rest is commercials.
Yes.
So that's kind of that world that, the advertisers and this and that. But it's not the same, and you can't really treat it the same.
Mm.
Okay,
You-
so
yeah.
getting
Go ahead.
started on YouTube. The reason I wanted to get on here with you was because I wanted to go through everything that I personally did to make
Mm.
the YouTube channel go.
Let's
And
go. Let's go.
yeah, I'm not the most popular YouTube on earth or anything, but I do have a decent sized following for the amount of time I've been on, and I have a full-time income from YouTube.
Well,
And
and you
that
got
is,
2,500 more people since the last time we interviewed you.
did I really? Oh,
Yeah.
because what was I at 50,000 at
Yeah, you were at
that point?
50,000 last time I took a
Mm,
screenshot of your channel,
mm.
and
Oh,
in
well,
less
good.
than 2 months.
See, that's something you're gonna learn really quick as you grow. That number right back there,
Mhm.
that you start not looking at it anymore
Mm,
because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much because if you're doing what you have to do,
mm.
that number goes up.
Yeah,
The view count goes up. You are concerned with your view count and your audience retention. If people are watching your videos longer or in watching them more often, then you're doing the right thing. You
mm,
can't control if somebody hits a subscribe button or not. And
right.
there's an awful lot of channels that I watch that I'm not subscribed to. So, would you rather have me subscribe to your channel and not really watch it that much, or watch every one of your videos and not subscribe?
Uh,
See what I
I
mean?
yeah, I would rather you watch and not subscribe than subscribe and hurt my growth because a subscriber is not converting to a viewer or watching any of the videos, or they're clicking on it, liking it, and then getting off thinking that they're doing something to help, but that
Right.
actually hurts. Like when someone is
That's
subscribed to your channel and they're not engaging or they're not watching the videos the whole way through, that actually hurts your growth and your outreach, right?
Yep, and that's the friends and family problem right there, where you tell your wife, you tell your family, you tell your mom, you tell all your buddies, "Hey, subscribe to my channel, check it out." And or even you go to a YouTube help channel and you look in the comments, "Subscribe to my channel, subscribe, help me grow." But it's fine. But you know what? YouTube is going to try to send those links to those people first because it's assuming that your subscriber base is your most interested base. So
Mm,
what happens when half of your subscriber base doesn't click?
yeah, that's wild.
You can derail a video pretty quickly with that if you're if it's not going to the right people.
Yeah. That
Yep. Okay.
damn.
So the
First
first
mistake
thing
I
I did, yeah,
made.
the first thing I did when I started up was number one. The YouTube channel was going to be a business. I already have a business background. I had a computer repair company that I ran for 20 years that I was sunsetting
Mm,
because the type of stuff that I do is slowly becoming obsolete. And by now it's pretty obsolete because
yeah,
people don't repair computers anymore unless they're like you and me and we're doing content creation or you're playing video games or something. Everybody else, you could throw their computer in the trash every 2 years. They don't care because it's probably glued together anyway. Or they're just on their phone because there's not that huge percentage of people on desktops anymore.
right.
So, I had to transition. So, it had to be a business because this was going to replace my income. So, from day one, from the planning stages, this was always going to be a business, but it doesn't mean it had to be boring. It just means that this was going to be something that I wanted to be my primary income. So
Mm,
therefore, you can't screw around, right? You can't. I'm going to make a bunch of videos and this. No, you got to start. You start ugly and you get the ugly out of the way quick, and then you make improvements. So to get around that is you just start creating videos. If you don't have good cameras, use your phone. Every phone can record in 4K these days. Any decent phone. Um, I know that a lot of people aren't uploading their videos in 4K. They upload them in HD
mhm,
because most people are going to watch it in HD. But right from the beginning, I uploaded them 4K anyway
mm,
because if people have devices that support 4K resolution, they're going to see it in 4K.
yeah.
So we have to figure, okay, I've got hundreds of videos going up. These are going to be evergreen type videos. They'll be there forever. Maybe I should make it in such a way to where people in the future will be able to see it in 4K, right?
Mm,
That doesn't take you any extra time to do. It just means it just takes up more storage space and probably takes a little bit longer to edit because the files are bigger.
yeah.
But I mean, that is like a no-brainer just to just do it that way because YouTube lets you upload in that. If YouTube decides to go 8K, I'm going to upload in 8K, right?
That's gonna be nice.
Because, well, yeah, because why not? I mean, if you can do it, do it. Do the, just like YouTube's got all these different tools, and you can make tags and stuff like that in your YouTube description. If there's a box, for you to put stuff in it, then you put stuff in it. It's not up to me whether to say whether it's helping or not, because I don't know.
Right.
None of us know. YouTube knows. They're not telling. So until they remove a box, then you put things in the box, right?
Right.
You just don't have to spend tons and tons of time on it, but you still do. So I started early, and what you do is you upload your first video, and then you have a sheet of paper and you write down one thing that you think you can improve. One thing. It's one little thing.
Just one.
Yeah. Like, I am going to not say the word so much. Right? That's it. The next video, that's all you're worried about. You say, I'm going to work on inflections in my voice. So I'm not talking like this. I'm talking like this. See?
Yeah.
It makes there's a very big difference. And you can actually do that several times. Like, okay, video 2 through 10, I'm working on inflection, and I'm working on my facial expressions. And this, you know what I mean? Just a little tiny thing. Just improve your video 1%. 1% is nothing. But what happens after you have 500 videos up and you've improved every single one of those 1%?
500% better, or
no, actually it's a lot more, because it has a compounding effect.
Yeah, I always
just
forget
like
about
if you
compound.
just like if you invest some money into a mutual fund or something, over time that becomes like this crazy exponential growth, because you've laid all those foundations. And unless you start uploading videos and looking at the way they're reacted to, how are you going to know what's an improvement and what's not an improvement? You're going to get hate from people like, oh, I don't like the way you're saying this, or you don't have to get upset about it. You just say, okay, well, you know what? Next video, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? If it's a valid criticism, that is. Like, I get hate about my hat constantly. Hey, you're wearing your hat backwards. I'm not listening to some jerk with his hat on backwards. You think you're, And I just tell them, well, I'm having a midlife crisis, number one. And number two, there's my microphone. It's here. It's because if you put your mic down here, your jaw blocks part of the fidelity. If it's up here, right above my head, all the sound can come up. That's why I'm using a lavalier mic. Wow. And it sounds like I'm using a like a directional stick mic or something like that. Yeah. That's because I'm allowing it to capture the entire spectrum of my voice.
That's so
it's amazing. It's amazing what a little bit of like a little camera angle can do. You see, and it's just a wireless lav mic. There's the wire right there, and I got a little pack on my back.
Man, pulling back the curtain, seeing the secrets. This is so cool. I would have never known that. I was thinking, where is his mic?
Yeah, see, so I could show you this too that I did. Right there. Okay. This right here.
And the switching camera angles. I love this.
This I made before I started my YouTube channel. That was day one. Here's my 1,000 subscribers. And I said that I was going to have 1,000 subscribers 1 year to the day from the time that I started my channel. So I mapped out how many subscribers I need every month to get to 1,000. The reason for 1,000 is because 1,000 is what you need to monetize your channel. Correct? Yeah. I mean, now you can do kind of a semi monetization thing at 500 subscribers or something. Yeah. But it's not the full monetization. You want that 1,000. So each month, the yellow is where I was charting the growth of the channel. And you can see right here I was behind, and then I just started getting some traction, and then it just shot up this way. This is the growth of the channel, the way it's been since then.
It's and you have to talk about, right?
It's the hockey stick. So, I did that for the first year. And I also did one for getting to 1 million subscribers in 7 years, which I am not going to do at all. But your goals have to exceed, your goals need to be at the very edge of the realm of possibility. You don't want your goal to be impossible, but you want your goal to be something where it's very hard to achieve. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen what happens in have you ever seen a professional like greyhound racing back in the day?
Um,
It's a lot like horse racing, but they race dogs.
I've seen it. I've never watched a race.
Yeah, they don't do it that often anymore because it was kind of inhumane, so they kind of stopped doing it. It's kind of funny because they still do the horse racing, and it's exactly the same thing. But with the greyhound racing, there's obviously not a jockey because they're not going to put like a little monkey or something on the back of the greyhound, because even though that would be hilarious. But
Yeah.
the way they make them run is there's a little rabbit attached to the
Oh
inner rail of
yeah.
the track, and they chase the rabbit.
Yeah, I've
If a
seen that.
if a greyhound catches that rabbit, which has happened, they can no longer race ever again.
Wow.
They got the goal of catching the rabbit, and you can no longer make that dog chase it anymore because now they know what the result is, which is not a whole lot. So they have to retire that dog.
Wow.
Right? So anyway, the red was what I was expecting to try to do in 7 years to get to 1 million. And you can see the exponential growth here, which is
Yeah.
it's like this crazy like S curve type of thing,
Yeah.
which I mean, 500,000 in the period of 1 year is ridiculous. And then the green was what is that I use? There's another I use. It's kind of funny. I just forgot what I track this with. I use. Where's doesn't matter. It's like the Social Blade. Hello.
I was like, is it Social Blade?
Yeah, Social Blade, which has historically really inaccurate numbers. They were saying where I was going to be in the same 7-year period. Okay, so I did map that in green.
Okay.
Their numbers are weird because they cheat, and the numbers change constantly. It's not a real prediction because anything that changes in what you're doing makes these numbers change. They just change their prediction all the time, which doesn't do you any good. And then the blue is actual. Okay, so this 2026 to 2027 or 2025 to 2026, this number will keep going up until February of 2026.
Okay.
So that's probably realistically going to be around 80,000 by the time 2020 February 2026 rolls around. Right around 80, maybe 90. I was trying to get to 100 by then, but it's hard to say whether that'll happen or not because it's just weird. It's really hard to get that exponential growth. But you can see that I am more than doubling.
Yeah.
Each year as we go along. So technically that should get to 90. It's really hard to tell to be, halfway through the year because you get most of your growth near the end of the year. But anyway, this sits on a whiteboard, always attached to the whiteboard, and I can see that every single day. And I'll update it every few weeks, with that second chart, just so I can, I'll just take a peek at it each day. Just take a peek. That's the only time I really pay attention to all of my subscriber count anymore. It's just to see how close I'm coming to my goal. But what happens if I don't get it? Don't get it. So what? The first time I started, the first couple of years, I was ahead of that curve, and then I started falling behind, and I got all butthurt about it. But then you realize that your channel's still growing, and your income is still going up, and then you're like, oh, I guess that didn't matter as much as I thought it did. And you know how much stress that takes off you whenever you realize that you don't have to have that type of growth to make a difference.
Yeah, it's vanity metrics, right? In the end,
They definitely are. I mean, they matter. They definitely matter. But for instance, your subscribers, if they're the ones that get the more notifications, they get special notifications whenever you have new content drop. So the algorithm does try to go to your subscriber base first. So you really want your subscriber base to be pretty active. I mean, because it can hurt a little bit, but
Well,
it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be them. It just helps.
no, so what I've seen is that they're changing the algorithm. I don't know if you've seen this, but like there's a lot of people that they vary in subscriber count and view count. Like I got a lady that came out of nowhere teaching from a whiteboard with like 200 something views and maybe like 20 something subscribers, but she came across my feed because the content that she was putting out was stuff that I would watch anyway. So I
Well,
think they're
they're pushing small channels right now.
okay.
They even if you go to the YouTube creators YouTube channel,
Mhm.
they actually even if you're in your studio, they put those videos up in there a lot. They are making a concerted effort to push small channels a little bit more. I've kind of got mixed feelings about that because I don't necessarily want something in my feed, not like at least not on the home page, that hasn't proven to be something that you know what I mean. There's a lot of stuff that shows up on the homepage of your feed that is just not quite right. It's like they're tweaking it constantly.
Mm.
It's neat that it gets a chance for smaller creators to get a little bit of a jump, but in my opinion, do you really need that jump if
Well,
you're
yeah, because
doing the things yeah.
if you get your talent can take you where your character can't hold you, and there's some character building that comes with starting from scratch and improving every single time that you make a video, like you were talking about those incremental improvements. If I would have jumped like exponential growth before I was ready and my videos were still crap, that would have been a disaster, right? Like I wasn't the person I am today on my first YouTube video,
No,
let alone
it's
my
it
100th. Like,
it takes time.
yeah,
And anything that's worth doing in your life takes time, right?
yeah, absolutely.
You meet the woman of your dreams and you get married. I've seen you online. You look like you're really happy with your wife. You're gonna meet your wife and get married the day after you meet her? Of course not,
No,
right?
no, she
It
didn't
takes
even like me
time.
then.
No, my wife blew me off twice before we actually even really dated.
Wow.
First, she like canceled our first date and blew me off, and then came back and said she made a mistake. And then she blew me off again because I got my airline tickets were for the wrong date to go to some graduation for a friend of hers, and she thought I was blowing it off and blew me off again. And then her son had to tell her something's wrong with her.
Wow, that's
And
funny.
then she called me back, and then we haven't spent any time apart since. But
Wow.
that it takes time. Anything worth doing should be hard.
Yeah.
Like relationships are hard. You know this.
Yeah.
Relationships are
Yeah.
hard. Success is hard. Everything is supposed to be hard. If it's easy, everybody does it, and then you know what? Nobody does anything special, because if it's easy, then everybody's stuff is going to be great, right? It's just
Right.
not.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. The people who are better at stuff will always have to rise to the top, and it's usually because those people put a lot more time and effort into stuff. And very importantly, especially with YouTube, you are willing to change and adapt according to the metrics that you're receiving.
Mm.
You're not getting views on your videos. You can do two things. It's YouTube's fault, or let's see why I'm not getting those views. Let's go to another channel that's doing the same thing and pretend that they don't have more subscribers than me. Let's watch their videos a little bit and see. Let's see. It's like, oh, I'm enjoying this video that this guy made. Wow, this is really great. I can't stop watching. And you start looking at it and you go,
What
why
did they
can't
do?
I stop watching this?
Yes.
What is it that is making me sometimes it's the personality of the person, the presenter, right? A lot of times is. In your case, it's you. I like watching you because you're you. It's that's a very, very powerful tool
Wow.
to just have that kind of presence. A lot of people, most people don't have that, and you have to end up substituting that with the quality of the content itself.
Wow.
But how far do you get with that? Let's say I'm like the greatest cook who's ever lived, but I'm a
Mhm.
dickhead.
So, oh,
and then
oh,
you
we
come
won't mention
along
any
and you're
names.
and then say you come along and you're like maybe like mediocre like me. I'm just an okay cook. Okay, I'm all right. I can make some nice food, but I am not gonna beat anybody in a cooking competition. But I'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can to make you laugh. Well, is that more fun to watch? Probably. Are you getting more? Are you getting more out of it though?
Mm.
You can watch somebody make some really complicated meal that you can't possibly make. Because it's a super complicated thing, and they got all kinds of shit that you can't possibly that you don't have. Like, oh, we're gonna put this bowl over the top of this thing, and we're gonna smoke the salmon. Like, okay, I don't have $1,000 smoker.
You're right. And
Or I don't have all this. I mean, they're using skills that most people don't have.
yeah.
So for me, I kind of came down more to like, let's do this from the perspective of like the average person and
Mm.
see if we can make it more fun, because cooking it sucks for a lot of people. You can't
Yeah.
do it. It's frustrating. You waste food, takes too much time, and so you buy these things at the store that are supposed to help you. You can't figure out the thing, and then you don't use it. Then you wasted a whole bunch of money.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And time and
and
yeah.
you make a big mess. That's the worst part. You're making a big ass mess. So if I can help with that, and then maybe get you to laugh a little bit and just have a good time doing it, that's what I created the channel for. Just to have some fun, have some fun in the kitchen. It's supposed to be fun. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be fun. Even running a business, it's not supposed to be all work all the time. The reason you start a business is because you have a passion for something. Passion and business aren't separate. The
No.
people that are, do you think Elon Musk isn't passionate?
I mean, you can see it.
Yeah,
Guy does
the
jazz
guy.
hands all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Excited
you could
about
say
what
what you want about Elon's politics, but you can't say the man is not deeply passionate and willing to sacrifice everything for what he believes in with rockets and autonomous cars and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's insane, that level.
That
But
passion is what's driving it.
yeah, but it draws you in.
It
It makes
does.
you want to be that passionate about stuff. I look at myself, I'm like, shit, dude, I need to get my ass rolling because I'm crying about making an 8-minute video. You know what I mean? It's Yeah.
Well,
So anyway, you improve slightly with each video. Each video, you get your analytics. After you have enough videos up, you get some analytics, where if you have enough content there, YouTube will be able to analyze it. That's another reason why you upload your stuff, because if you don't get the numbers from YouTube because it doesn't have anything to work with. So you'll be able to see retention numbers, where people are leaving your videos, how many seconds in, what percentage of people stuck around till the end. You can look into your comments, and a lot of times it can be it can be pretty humbling because people will say mean things, but sometimes mean things aren't necessarily mean things. Sometimes those can be construed as constructive criticism too,
yeah.
or you can just take it that way, like, oh, you're just you keep like I used to say, now we're gonna go ahead, and I would say that every over and over and over. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go
How's your
ahead and
filler work? Yeah.
well, yeah, but my videos are cut up into a bunch of clips, so I didn't realize I was doing that until I go to edit it, and then I
Mm,
can't cut that part because I'm running it into a sentence. See?
mm,
So it
yeah.
would be there. So I had a lot of people, hey, you blah blah blah, that's annoying, or that music's annoying, or whatever. So
And that's
then you make
personal
adjustments.
preference, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's
But if you get enough of it, then you can analyze it and say, yeah, 'cause I used to use a lot of jazz music in the
mm,
background, and jazz is not a super popular format. So what I found was, even though I was using that, and I continued to for a long time, it was too loud.
Mm.
You know, that should be at like minus 20 to minus 24 decibel. It should be, you know, if you're gonna have music in the background like I do on all my videos, it needs to be quiet enough to where it's not overpowering your voice.
Yeah.
So I bring my voice up to a minus 3 decibel, just to make sure it doesn't clip, you know, just to keep it down below 0. And then the music will be down minus 24. So you can hear it, it's there, but it becomes more of like this background thing that you don't really notice that much, kind of like elevator music in
Literally.
most places. Yeah. So it's there. It's good. It's good filler. It's you know, to me it feels like there's something missing when it's not there. So I leave it in. And you know, I use like Nick Nimon's creator mix stuff
Oh,
for
okay.
my music, because he doesn't, you know, it's free forever, and they're really good tracks, and you can extend those tracks out, and they're really great. Just
Huh.
you know, and he's got all kinds of different genres of music that you can use too.
That's pretty cool.
That's another key
Nick
too. You
Niven.
don't spend money. I mean, I kind of didn't follow my own advice on that, but don't spend money unless you need to spend it,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning. But in my case, it was a career change.
Yeah.
So I did some things that are like outlandish, like built like the studio. You know, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. First of all, I'm gonna buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment, even though I can record on my phone.
Yeah.
Next, I'm gonna go put a building up, even though, you know, my channel's just making like $20,000 a year or something like that. You know, I spent $80,000 building a studio on my property and just created debt because I already knew that this is the way.
Yeah.
It's the way. This is going to be, I will succeed with this or I will crash and burn. There's no in between.
But
You're
you're
going to, I
succeeding.
will make, yeah, but you know what? What happens when you light a fire in your ass like that? When you
Yeah.
put stakes, you're putting serious stakes into what you're doing. I can't say, hey, I'm going to try this for a couple of years and see how it goes. I
Mm.
can't say, well, how often do you upload? No, you know, I upload. You see this all the time on live streams. I upload whenever I have a chance. If you go to the YouTube help channels and look at the comments, how often I upload? When I have a chance. You don't upload when you have a chance. You upload on a schedule.
Yeah.
When you go to work for somebody else, do you work when you have a chance? No, you're 9 to 5 at this particular time. This is your job for the day. This is, you know, whatever. And that's why a lot of people, you know, that's why we work for ourselves, because we don't have to do that, right? But
Right.
then you work for yourself and you're like, I need to work at this thing 9 to 5. I need to upload this thing on these days. It's the exact same thing, except now you're the boss telling yourself to do the stuff instead of that being a different person. And somehow that's better, right?
I don't know.
And you're
For
making
me,
less.
it's been worse. I can't be my own boss. I can't make myself do anything.
You can. Don't say you can't.
Okay, I can.
It's
I
just
can.
that you just decided not to for now, or
That's right.
you're
That's
not
right.
listening to
I
your better
haven't.
judgment knows that you need to though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's
it's been a
you,
challenge, but I learned everything not to do in the first couple months, and now I know better things to do.
well, yeah, that's part of it. You got to learn, but you also have to implement those changes too.
That
You
part.
got that's the one thing about YouTube. If you are disciplined and you know I stick to a very strict upload schedule. A lot of people don't do that. Just like I stick to a 2-week upload schedule that I've never missed the entire time my channel's existed. And if
Mm,
anything, I'll upload more than that. But if you look at my uploaded content, I've got 6 or 7 videos that haven't gone public yet
mm,
because they're already scheduled all the way through the mid June.
mm.
They're going to publish on those days at the right time, and technically I don't have to create another video until June 14th if I didn't want to, but I want to keep creating that buffer. And I started offering channel memberships.
Mm.
So you pay like $3 a month or something like that. You know, I've got 2 different tiers, but the upper tier, you can watch all the videos that haven't been published. See what I mean? It's like,
Mm.
hey, if you're a fan of the channel and you want to pay an extra $3 a month, you can watch this video that nobody else gets to see until July. Do you know how many channel memberships I've gained because somebody couldn't wait to see something on a new ice cream machine, and they can see
That's
it in front of their face on the home page of my YouTube channel. It says members first, members first, members first, members first, a whole bunch of times.
yeah.
And they'll click it and they'll click on it and they can't go. And sometimes people will just become a channel member for 1 month so they can watch this video they really want to watch, and then they'll cancel, but it's fine. But you gained a little bit of what happens. Like, I only have about like 10 channel members right now. It's like a little tiny number, but it's still $30 a month
Yeah.
of
that pays for
income.
Netflix at least.
Yeah, I mean,
YouTube
what
Premium.
happens if I think Nick Nimmin has something like 10,000 channel members, or it's in the thousands. It's a lot. 10,000 is probably a really high number because it's hard to tell. I'm just estimating based on his live streams and how often people join.
Yeah.
I look at his live streams like, okay, this person just joined his channel membership. This person just joined. It's like, that's 20 people today that join channel memberships. And then I figure, okay, he's doing this every week. And I'm kind of calculating it out. I'm like, man, if these people aren't canceling, that's a lot of income.
Yeah.
No, let's say if you're making let's say you're making $1 of income off of a channel member, and you got 1,000 of them. That's $1,000 a month. That's 12 grand a year from doing zero, from somebody just
from
supporting
time.
You.
Yeah.
That's a minimum wage job. That is a minimum wage job that came from zero. That came from nothing. That's flipping burgers for 6 hours a day. In a lot of places, 12 grand. I guess that's 1985 numbers, but
yeah,
what I'm talking about. And that's a great way to grow. That's one of those things that you can do. You need a certain amount of subscribers in order to gain access to channel memberships, which is another reason to pay attention to your subscriber count, because you can't monetize without subscribers, and you can't gain access to the additional stuff without subscribers. I mean, the only thing I had to look forward to as far as subscriber count goes now are the play buttons, because I have access to everything else. Plus, when you get to 100,000, I believe you get your own personal YouTube consultant. You'll get somebody who works for YouTube that you have access to email directly.
Really?
Yes. You get support from YouTube when you get to 100 grand, because they're not messing around. They know what's up. YouTube makes good money off of us.
Wow.
They
we
do.
make good money off of them once we monetize.
And that is an excellent point that you make. And a lot of people cry about YouTube. They take too much of my money, whatever. We wouldn't make money on YouTube without YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube gives us a platform to upload videos for free. I'm using up probably 100 terabytes of hard drive space on their freaking servers for free. Housing my files. What would this cost you if you were trying to build your own streaming service?
Dude,
you wouldn't be able to. It's too much money.
Yeah.
But they, and the only thing they ask is that they don't actually ask anything. You can upload whatever you want, unless it's like outside of terms of service, like it's like some kind of violent stuff, or really super weird, like racist stuff or whatever. Which I can understand why you wouldn't want that on your platform, obviously.
Right.
Or why it wouldn't be monetized. But other than that, I mean, you're free to do whatever you want, and you could do certain subscriber count. They're going to advertise on there, and they're going to give you more than half.
What is it something about no profanity? Like if you swear on your channel, like they can demonetize your video?
Yes. It's if it's excessive.
Okay.
They don't necessarily do that. Like, people will say, I can't say a bad word. Like I got a couple of bad words I said in the stream, right? But you're not going to get demonetized over that. It's now, if I come onto the screen and you go, hey, and welcome, Joe, and I come in there, you effing blah, 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 you blah, blah, just start going off. Well, then you're probably going to get your video demonetized.
Right.
If you are, You know who PewDiePie is, right?
I've heard of it. Isn't that the kid?
Well, PewDiePie he was the first YouTuber to make it to 100 million subscribers.
Oh,
That was before T-Series. It was before Mr. Beast. It was before everybody. And he started off as a gamer, and he he's actually one of the people that I watched right from the beginning. I was like, I couldn't get enough of him because he's just so insane. But he would drop a lot of profanity,
yeah,
but not like excessive amounts. But there's quite a bit of it in there. He never had a video demonetized over it.
that's crazy.
It's if they deem it to be excessive, it's one thing. If you talk about like certain types of topics, like like the R word, the one that has to do with sexuality, or the one that has to do with the people's races. I don't even want to say the word because that tends to trigger stuff. You know what I mean? You don't talk about highly combative type of things like that. That's why a lot of gun content and stuff ends up getting suppressed.
Yeah.
It's not that, even political content, it's not so much that people are talking about politics. It's like, this is where they get it wrong. It's because people are not only talking about their politics or weapons or whatever, but they're going to the extreme. Like they're showing people get shot. Okay, you can't do that. That's
Right.
crazy. Or they're talking about, I believe in this political thing, and you are, the bad guys from Germany because
Yeah,
you
like
disagree with me or
ca-
whatever. You
causing
know what I mean?
dissension and division.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with political discourse if you're willing to respect other people's opinions.
Right.
But whenever you start name calling everybody, and everybody who doesn't agree with me is this or that, well, can you? Of course, YouTube is going to suppress your content.
Right.
Of
Because
course they are. It's a public
they're
forum.
they're representing you, and so you
Yeah.
should represent yourself well if you want
Yeah.
to be represented.
And again, it goes back to your channel is your business.
Yeah.
I run businesses. I don't talk about politics on social media. I'll talk about it to my friends a little bit, but even then, I don't like talking about that stuff because I believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. You're my friend. What I say is not going to change your mind. So why bring up something that is going to cause anguish
Yeah.
or friction?
Yeah.
That's why would you do that? Just believe what you want to believe, and we're friends, and fine. It's
Yeah.
there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
It's
So one thing I've heard too is if you just replace the word algorithm with audience, you're winning
yeah.
because you're not working for a computer algorithm that's trying to suppress you or harm you. You're making content for humans. Like there are human eyeballs watching this right now, or that are going to be watching this in the future. And
Mhm.
they're trying to figure out through all of this talking if what we're saying is going to help them start their YouTube channel. And if we don't do that properly, that's our fault. That's
Mhm.
why we didn't get views. It's not about the algorithm not showing people. It's did we show them in a way that made them want to engage
Mhm.
and keep engaged?
Yes. And part of the problem with that, number one, I completely agree with you because
Okay.
it's all based on your audience. You are making videos to be pulled by someone who's watching YouTube. YouTube isn't just pushing your content to someone. It is making an educated guess based upon what that person likes
Hmm.
as to what it can offer them for them to watch.
Hmm.
It's not shoving anything down anybody's throat. But
Right.
if you are unclear about what you're making,
Yeah.
like if you look at your channel, like I've got like a lot of interest. I used to be a amateur bike racer. There's no bike content on my YouTube channel. There's no computer content on my YouTube channel. There's not, you know, it's not there because, oh, well, I'm going to show you how I do my zone 2, training, and this is my functional threshold and whatever. People are going to look at that and be like, where the hell's the blender?
Yeah, but what about this kitchen thing I need to get? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you
So,
start a new channel, right?
right. So if you're doing that on your one channel, or like, especially gamers, I think have the hardest time.
Hmm.
because because you switch games, and that makes it hard, because
Yeah.
now it's a different audience again. Because if you stick with the same genre, then
Yeah.
maybe, like, if, oh, well, I'm a Diablo player and now I'm a Path of Exile player, well, they're close enough to where those audiences might go over. But if
Hmm.
you're like, I'm a sim racer versus like an RPG guy,
Yeah.
there's that's a completely different kind of thing. Those people don't typically mix. Now
Right.
you've made this content and now it's YouTube. I'm going to help someone decide what to watch, and they have no idea what your channel is. It's not gonna get recommended,
Mm.
because YouTube can't figure out what it is,
Right.
right? So it hurts you. It hurts you big time. You gotta be focused. If you're even what I do, I've expanded my niche probably to as far as you can really expand it without starting to cause trouble. Like,
Mhm.
product reviews don't typically, with cooking content, it's a stretch. So when I do like cooking content, it's always based on a particular small kitchen appliance,
Mm.
right? Like, it's not so much like, uh here's how you make this lasagna. It's like, well, I used the Ninja whatever air fryer to make this lasagna, and here's how we did it in that thing. Well, now you're leveraging the stuff from my main niche to
Yeah.
do other things. So it becomes like, I'm going to show you how to use this thing you bought to make some good stuff. Not, I'm going to show somebody how to make lasagna that doesn't know how to make lasagna. It
Right.
doesn't, it's the different audience. But
Yeah.
if I make content that's just, you know what, let's bake a cake. We're going to bake a cake from scratch. That will not get viewed.
Right.
That
Because
will
that's not what you're
100% not get viewed on my channel. It will die a terrible death, because nobody cares about me baking. I'm
there.
not a freaking baker, and it'll probably come out crappy because I suck at baking. It's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But see what I mean? It's like, you
Yeah.
have to know where that line is, and you can't learn it unless you keep trying to make content that way. And you're like, you know what? This isn't working.
Yeah.
This thing, every time I try to do this particular thing, nobody watches. Well, it's okay. Well, don't do that thing.
Yeah.
Or find a way to use that to kind of get into this other way. Well, I use like this little bread machine to make the cake or whatever, and oh, well, that's different. And now
Right.
people that want to buy the bread machine are the ones that are watching. They're like, oh, I'm so happy you showed me how to bake this bread in this machine. Nobody else would show me. They just do these reviews. See what I mean?
Right.
That's the kind of contents I get, are because these people buy these things and it just sits on a counter someplace and they don't know how to use it.
Pretty
And
much.
that's it. Yeah.
And
So I
Elijah
mean,
says people are just scared of just starting another channel. Like,
yes, starting another channel is tough, especially if you are someone who doesn't have a lot of traction on your existing channel yet.
yeah.
I would say if you're starting a second channel, this is just my opinion, first of all. If I were to start a second channel for like cycling or something, because I could probably do that, because I ride 275 miles a week. You know,
Wow.
uh, I had to hurry up and get back here to do this. Um,
Which I
I,
appreciate.
I right now would be hesitant to do that,
Hmm.
because now I just split my time in half.
Mm.
How much time are you putting into your existing channel is the thing. If you're going all in on an existing channel that you're trying to grow, uh, I'm working all the time on my YouTube channel. So at what point, I would say that, me personally, when my channel gets to the size to where I have to start hiring people in order to help get things done. I can't get my edits done. I need somebody to help with the edits. I need someone to come up with, like, content ideas and script for me or something. And it's going to be, you get to the point where you're the on-screen talent, and they give you what to say, and you do it in your own, in your own special flavor and everything. Suddenly
Okay.
you're not doing as much, or relying on other people to do things. Start the second channel then.
Yeah.
Then you start to expand out, because you have more time to spend on it. Otherwise, you cut half of your time out of your existing channel, you're going to stunt the growth, and then you're going to have not a lot of time to start your second channel, and you're gonna half-ass it on the second one.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna forget about your first channel and neglect it, and then go straight over to this other stuff. There's a cyclist named the Vegan Cyclist. He has 400,000 subscribers. He's a vegan guy,
Right.
and he used to get millions and millions and millions of views. Still got 350,000 subs. Everybody knows who he is. The cycling community, everybody knows this guy. But he did some things that kind of upset people because he kind of got a big head, which happens. Having some humility is probably that's a big virtue, because we are just people. We're not special.
Right.
We're like everybody else.
Right.
I'm not better than you because I have more subscribers or because I have a social media presence. No, not at all. Well, you can't start becoming that, because people are going to see it, especially on YouTube. So that hurt him, and then he just hasn't posted very much. And like his last video was like 4 months ago. I have double his viewership.
Wow.
How does a 50,000 subscriber channel have double the viewership of someone who's pushing 400,000 subs? And he had all these sponsorships and stuff. Those all dried up because he's not making content anymore, because he started moving on to other things, trying to gain revenue elsewhere. And it's just, I thought it was this big mistake. So he took the thing that was making the money for him the most and just discarded it and started going off in some other direction. That's what I would worry about. I would be very scared about that, because that would be crushing, honestly, for me right now, if I tried to do something like that and just jacked my audience that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my God. And trying to grow from scratch again. I mean, if you started a second channel, you could probably grow that a hell of a lot faster than your first one, because you know all these things now.
Right. And
you're gonna get a head start. But
my first channel, I'm almost to monetization, at least that halfway mark, 500. But it's an official artist channel. So it's meant to be pushing out music. It shows up on YouTube Music. So someone is in their YouTube Music, and I popped up after them listening to some Christian hip hop artist, and it's this interview. And they're like, no, I don't want to watch this. Right. This is not what I want on my YouTube Music. So I probably have to start over. But I'm like, I'm so close to monetization here. It doesn't make sense to start over.
You could just kind of refocus that. And I mean, the algorithm kind of forgets a little bit over time. So if you keep it really focused, then eventually it'll repair whatever damage might have been done to the algorithm per se. It's it's based upon recent activity. So if you keep uploading and you keep it focused, then eventually it's going to start pushing the content correctly for you. Then it's based on the amount of content too. If you post another 100 videos and they're all just straight up focused on music and this and that, then it's going to be fine. I wouldn't really worry too much about that. It just takes a little bit of time.
Okay.
Elijah said,
if you're offering your own products, the second channel might be a better conduit to increase your sales. Yeah,
definitely could be, especially if you're offering a product that isn't directly related to your first channel. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Then definitely, if you can do something on another channel, it's going to make you income, then you do it. There's plenty of channels that don't have massive subscriber bases that are freaking phenomenally profitable.
Yeah. Right? Oh yeah. There's
like Roberto Blake doesn't have tons and tons of views. The man makes the money because the people that do show up are clients.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. You will work with Roberto Blake if you watch his content a little bit. So for him, it doesn't matter because his conversion rate per viewer is way higher than most people.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
That's awesome. It's one of the coolest people I met there. And like when you go to his channel, he gives you everything you need to know about YouTube. Like he's giving quality content. And that's what Elijah said. Quality of views start to matter over quantity. Like it doesn't matter if you have 3 million views. If they're just 30-second views and the video is 30 minutes.
Yeah, I wish YouTube would learn that, because they're the biggest offenders of that. First of all, YouTube Shorts, I think it was a bad idea from the beginning. The way they implemented it, because now, they changed the way YouTube Shorts work, right?
No, I did not
Your
know that.
view, if you get a view is if they even scroll past your thing in the YouTube thing. Like scrolling past, yeah, oh boom, you were on the screen, you're a view. So they have that counts as a view now. So everybody's Shorts views have gone up, but they have another metric called, what is it? There's the views, and then there's like high quality view, or it's not called that, it's called something else. So in that would be people who watched over a certain amount of time. Well, how about you don't count the damn view if they're scrolling past it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like giving false hope.
Yeah, and just the way the Shorts work in general, it's just, I don't know. I mean, people, people are really like leaning too much in the Shorts. To me, I use them to support long form videos, but the amount of money you make off of a short, if you need tens of millions of views on a short to make the kind of income you make off of just an okay long form video. See what I mean?
And they've included that into the metric to get you monetized. Like you have to have 500 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers and 3 million watch time hours of shorts. So it's got to be a really good short that gets watched multiple times.
Well, if you have both, if you got long form and short form, the subscribers are merged together. So if you get 10,000 subscribers off of a short that happened to go viral, but you have mostly long form content, you're still monetized. That still gets you past your 1,000. But the thing is, it's kind of a fake 1,000, because you got those people through the shorts, and find a couple of channels that have 100,000, 200,000 subscribers. Find the ones that have no traffic. Guarantee they're Shorts channels. Because somebody watched one short, it's like, bam, 10 million views, and never again. Wow. And then they start trying to make long form so they can make some money, and nobody will watch it because those people showed up. It's the same thing as we were talking about splitting your niche up too much. Yeah. Those people don't want long form videos. They're there for shorts. They have no patience. These are people with short attention spans. They're not going to watch 8 minutes. Well,
but I mean, 8 minutes much less an hour.
Well, now you're stuck because you got, like, you're in limbo with your content. See what I mean?
Right.
Like my shorts have always supported my long forms. So I'll get, I don't know, I get probably like $20 a month in revenue off of shorts, which is kind of a lot for shorts. Cause you get like nothing for, you need thousands of views to make any money off of it. But I got a lot of them, and they're really just conduits to the longer form stuff anyway, or some stupid thing that I thought was funny at the time that really wasn't.
Right.
Yes, or like attention span of a squirrel.
Yeah. And like someone's reposting a clip of someone else's, so like you don't even know if that channel is actually
posting. That shouldn't even be allowed.
No.
That should not be allowed to clip and repost people's shorts.
Yeah.
I can understand clipping somebody's long form. I get it. But you can even turn the thing off so people can't do it to you. But the short, they're clipping the entire short. That's just straight up re-uploading your content. That's at some point it's, and now they extended the length of shorts so they could be like 3 minutes long. That's the whole point of shorts, was to be super short. So people are like, oh, well, it allows me to make it 3 minutes long. Therefore, I'm going to make my short 3 minutes long. No.
Just because you can.
You make your short 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, quick. That's what it's there for. You make it long. You're going to make a 3 minute long short. Now, guess what? Now you are stuck in the monetization of shorts with that video. Just make the long form 3 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to make better money off of that.
Doesn't it have to be at least 8 minutes to be monetizable?
No.
Really?
10 seconds.
Like
The only
for
the
long
only
form?
for long form, if it's less than 8 minutes long, you can't put mid-roll ads into it. But it'll
Mm,
still play ads before or at the end.
okay.
But if you want to put ads in the middle of your video, it must be at least 8 minutes long. So, and a lot of people have gotten to the point where they're, oh, I'm going to make all these 8 minutes long so I can put in mid rolls. That's not the best idea. You make the video as short as you can make the video and still do what you need the video to do. If it's a 5-minute long video, don't push it to 8, because people are going to see that you're wasting 3 minutes of their time by forcing that video into 8 minutes long. See what I mean? And it's going to be boring if you that means you got 3 minutes of fluff that nobody cared about.
Right.
That's right. Just
Right.
make the video short, and if they happen to get over 8 minutes, they're over 8 minutes. If they're under it, if it's like 7 minutes and 50 seconds, then put 10 seconds of content in there and get it to 8. But if you're like, this video is a minute and a half long, I need to make it 8. I think I'm gonna talk about the story about my dog. He got the little thorn in his hand, and we're just gonna go on and on and on about that. And I'm gonna ask a whole bunch of questions of the audience, and make them put stuff down in the comments or something.
Oh, I love Elijah. Thank you for questions, man. This is awesome.
The automatic opinion on the automatic ads that have happened May 12th. I didn't like the automatic ads at first. Number one, I don't want ads to play in live streams. I hate that. But you can set your live stream so they can't play ads during them. I think that's super disruptive in a live stream. But on your videos, and you know what he's talking about, right? With the way they changed the mid-rolls. Not right. The way it was before is if you're 8 minutes or longer, you have a mid-roll section when you upload your video, and you can pick where ads have the possibility of playing, not where ads play, which is something that everybody gets wrong. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to have an ad at 3 minutes and 6 minutes and 8 minutes. And no, those are placeholders that you're putting there for YouTube to maybe put an ad there if they feel like it, right? It doesn't mean it'll play, and it may be at any one of those places. But the problem was that people were putting them in the middle of sentences and stuff. Like they would just place them wherever, and it would be like a really violent cutoff right in the middle of a word or something that just completely disrupts. When I was putting mine in, I would wait for certain parts, like if I was changing subjects, and bam, right in there is where I would stick those. But the way YouTube's changed that now is they realize that a lot of people were not doing this right. Yeah. So the automatic thing is it's using AI to place ad spots for you instead. So technically, you don't have to place your ads. It will do it for you where it thinks is a good spot, where it seems like it's a natural break for them to put the ads in. You can still put your own in there too. But people were concerned that there was going to be too many ad plays because because you don't have as much control over it. But again, they don't play in all those spots, just where they think. And as a positive part of that, when you look at where your ads are, it'll put big red bars on the ones that you have placed manually to tell you which ones are not going to play ads on. Because it's like this terrible spot for it, according to YouTube. And they never told you that before. So yes, they're kind of using AI to place ad spots for you. And it kind of takes a little bit of control away from you. But they're also showing you where they weren't going to play ads, which they never showed you that before. You'd say, I'm going to put these ads all over the place. I'm going to make a bunch of money. And then you look at your thing, and you go, I got 10,000 views on this and I made $6. What the heck happened? Because they're not playing them.
Yeah.
But now you can see which ones that YouTube says are not good spots.
At least they tell you now, right?
Yeah, they'll be inclined not to use them. So it actually works out okay that now they're putting them into your existing. You were able to select. I had it turned off for a long time because I just wanted to select my own, and then I started experimenting with it a little bit to see if it changed my retention in my videos at all. Because I was thinking it might drop retention if it plays too many ads, and it hasn't. It's been right where it's supposed to be, and the ad revenue might be a tiny bit more. It's kind of hard to say exactly, but it seems like it's a couple of bucks more. And that might be because they weren't playing ads on certain things, right?
Yeah.
Because you can put 15 ad spots in there. They're not going to play 15 ads on your video.
No. I mean, unless it's a really good video or it's relevant to what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
When we were at Vid Summit, they were talking about that, and they said that YouTube is not going to play an ad on a video in a spot where YouTube thinks that it's going to make people leave YouTube. See what I mean? If their algorithm thinks that that is going to cause someone to skip out of there and like leave the platform for whatever reason, then it's not going to play. YouTube the only thing YouTube cares about is people staying on YouTube. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's YouTube's goal.
Yeah.
You make whatever content you want, that's great. What you're doing as a YouTube content creator is helping Google make money by keeping people on their platform to see more ads. That is their entire game plan. Everything else is just is gravy. You know, the monetization splits, everything else. That's just ways to keep us happy. So we'll continue to make content on their platform, right?
Yeah, so they can make more money.
Yeah, if we feel like we're getting ripped off, then we're going to end up on a different platform. Why do you think Twitch is in such trouble? Because they did this stupid monetization that nobody likes, and then they started suppressing ads and all kinds of other stuff. Nobody wants that. That's why a lot of gamers have switched over to YouTube for gaming streams. Twitch is probably a better platform for that, but they're not making money unless they're sponsored, right?
Right, and the amount of people out there doing it versus the amount of people there are to sponsor, it's like the record companies like trying to get a record deal. The chances are slim to none to ever make it.
Yeah,
Elijah says, "Thanks for answering."
Yeah, you're welcome, Elijah. Yeah, it's one thing I wanted to mention before, you know, because since we're running long, I don't know how much time you got. I told you I was going to give you that tip for Adobe Premiere.
Let's go.
Okay, this is an editing tip for you. Let's say you are. I probably could have showed you one of my clips that how many times I have to say the same damn thing over and.
Yeah, because I try to get it in one take. That's why I like to go live. There's no editing. We're having a conversation with real people. You get to hear the inside and out of people that are doing the thing that you haven't started doing yet or want to start doing and can't figure out how to do it.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, because I'll be that's the reason why I can make a 13-minute long review video and I have 2 hours of footage. Yeah. I usually go through about my memory card. Usually one video is about 80 or 90 gigs of data.
What?
It's all 4K, and so I'll have like 6 clips, and one of them will be like 45 minutes long, and I only use like 5 minutes of it.
Wow. So I thought I was doing something wrong when I was doing that.
Well, no, because if you've ever been part of a video production,
or they get a lot of footage,
or the Hollywood stuff, that's the reason they can make these outtake videos and extended cuts of the movies. Like what was it? What was it? The Justice League movie that Zack Snyder made? Remember when that came out and then his kid died and they kicked him off the project, and then they had Josh Whedon come in and finish the movie, and then it bombed in the box office. And then they brought back Zack Snyder after a pandemic, and he re-released the new Justice League, the Zack Snyder's Justice League. That movie was an hour and a half longer. He didn't reshoot anything. It was all his footage that got cut and different angles of stuff. And it was crazy. Yeah. He's going to bring up Justice League. Yeah, because that's probably the de facto. Here's what happens when you start cutting, you know what I mean? How much footage you can end up with. The fact that he didn't have to shoot new stuff, except for like this little end part that they did or something. But for the most part, it was all there already. That's why
I gotta go watch Justice League.
Yeah, watch the Justice League version, the regular one, and then go watch the Snyder cut one, and you're like, you know, whether you like it or not, kind of just depends on your taste. But it's a completely different movie with the same footage. it's nowhere near the same movie.
That's so crazy.
Everything's different. The plot's different. Everything is different. And this is all the existing footage. That's what happens. So anyway, let's say you have, I'll just do like a little example for you. I'll say I'm just starting off a video and say, hey, you know what? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a review on, let's see, the Ninja Double Stack XL air fryer. Okay. Now let's say I had a problem with that. I would say the double stack, we're going to do a review on the double stack. Okay, I forgot what it was. And then we're going to do okay, okay. And then you finally say, today we're doing a review on the Ninja Double Stack XL air fryer. That's how you do that. You clapped at the end of your good clip. Now, when you throw that into Premiere, there's a spike in the audio right there. You know that's your good clip. You go straight to that section in your Premiere. You clip that section. That's exactly what that is. That's what that imitates.
Clapboard.
Yes. So then when you look at your timeline, there's clap, 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 cut, 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 done. You're no longer watching. Otherwise, you watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
I gotta watch my 45-minute clip to get 5 minutes out of it. Or I get all the ones that I put a clap at the end. Because you before you do your new take, you stop talking for a second and then you restart. So you can see where the gaps are, where there's no talking. But then you see the one that's got the clip at the end. Clip that one section out, go. You just saved 3 hours of editing by doing that.
I was trying to figure out if there's got to be a way to make this easier. So for those of you watching, they're trying to figure out how to edit your content, or that we're doing something like me, where you're trying to do it all in one take, get it perfect the first time. You don't have to do that. Just got to clap.
Never do it. Yeah, just put a little clap in there. And then you don't have to go through all that. That's by far the longest. That's even so, I tend to, like, my brain goes, I'm watching YouTube videos while I'm editing. So I'm sitting there like this, looking at YouTube videos, and my thing is over here somewhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still in the intro, by the way. It's 2 hours later. But if I focus on it and I'm doing the clapping, I can edit 13-minute long video in probably 2.5 hours, including putting all my effects and everything into it and the music. And then move on to the next video. And then that's uploaded. Now you're moving on to the next video. And if you're doing 2 a week, a couple of those, and I'm a week ahead of my schedule.
Do you ever do batch recording? You ever do batch recording, like multiple videos?
Last week, I recorded 6 videos in here in one day.
Wow.
I did 5 different ice cream videos plus a review or an unboxing for something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, nice. It was for this rice cooker thing that I got from KitchenAid.
Nice.
But I just did them all back to 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 back. The ice cream ones, they're for a Ninja Creamy, so you have to freeze the ice cream. So technically, it was the first half of 4 of the videos plus the review video in full. And then I had to come back the next day to finish up the other ones. But it was most of the content all the way up to the part where we're about to make the ice cream and scoop it out. So there's only a couple of minutes worth of content on each one of those after that. And then I created them all, stuck them in a schedule, and then that created 3 weeks worth of content uploaded on the channel.
Love that. So
batch recording is important. If you're coming out, especially if you have to get yourself in the mindset to record, do it together at one time. You're rolling ready. Go, 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 go. That's, you know what I mean? You don't have to prepare yourself over again.
Right. You're
at
already
least do 2. Yeah, do 2 at least. Why not?
Yeah.
Probably takes you less time because you don't have to get yourself in the same mind frame. I do some voice inflection and stuff, exercises before I record to make sure that my voice doesn't sound crackly or anything and then you got to kind of get yourself in the mood. I got to smile into the camera a lot and think about nice things to make sure that I'm smiling because I've recorded videos where I'm like this. Yeah, we're going to review this thing. I look like I don't want to be there. It's like I've even seen myself roll my eyes before. Doing
Wow.
this video for the you know, the oven back here. Yeah, it's bad.
So there's so many tips, and I know we're talking over some people's heads because we're talking about a lot of things as YouTube creators that we already know. But to the person that's been watching this that still feels a little lost,
Just make videos.
just make
It's
videos.
easy. If you don't, I don't have a good camera, use your phone. Your phone records nice video. Start with your phone. Get a tripod. Number one, get a tripod. Don't be doing this. And like, don't do that, please. Get a tripod, set it up. Use your camera on your phone. Fix your lighting. Lighting is very important. Your audio and your lighting are very important. Try not to use the microphone built into your camera. Get like a little. You can even get a like a mic that plugs into the USB-C port on your phone. Definitely at least get some kind of third-party mic, because it's going to make your audio sound a lot better, and they don't cost very much money. And get at least a couple of little lights. If you're recording in your house like you are, I could see that you have your drapes drawn.
Yeah.
That's because you don't want a bunch of freaking light coming in behind your camera and washing out your images.
Right.
Then you do that. You either do that or you face the camera away from windows, one or the other. Control your lighting. I used to, when I was in my recording in my kitchen in the main house, that was almost complete pitch black. I would turn everything off, including all the lights, and I would just get a couple of softbox lights and place them around, and I create my own lighting. Because it's a lot less lighting than you actually think. Like, it's probably a lot darker in your room there than people realize it is. Because you want the camera to be able to, like in my case, it was pretty dark because I'm using a professional camera. So
yeah,
it's got a much larger light sensor.
Yeah.
So if you're using lower light and it can deal with it, you get like pretty rich looking color. It's nice. Then you don't get any reflections on stuff either that way.
Right. And this camera, I didn't think was a good camera, but it was sitting on top of my monitor. It was looking down at me, and it was always dark lighting in here. But once I got the softbox lights and the ring light, I moved the camera from there to on this tripod, and it changed everything. Like, as a matter of fact, it's a little darker in here, but
but that's so much better.
3-point lighting makes
you've got your main light, and you got your key light. You got your key light, and then you got your backfill. So that's good. And you got a couple of lights in the background there that actually helps show the edges of your silhouette there. It actually makes your body stand out from the background. Those lights all the way back behind you. That's the good camera trick. It definitely does. It creates a frame around you because it's lighting the back of your hair a little bit.
So it makes you the subject of focus, also kind of the chair.
I can tell you got your lights at an angle, so they're not directly into your eyes, so they're not reflecting off your glasses. So that's good. It's small things like that, but that you don't know until somebody tells you.
Right.
And that's but it makes all the difference in the world. But really, you can start messy. If you just got like a phone camera, fine. If you don't got any lighting, play with the lighting in your house. Do something. The audio, I would say that the audio is more important than the video. If you don't have the money and you can't decide whether you need to get better lighting or better audio, I would fix your audio first.
Yeah.
Because people are hearing it, and if it's crumbly sounding, it pisses people off. So fix the audio first, then get your video working better. And remember that doesn't make your videos go. It's nice. It helps, and it makes everything look more professional. But people are going to follow you because they like what you're saying, and they like your content, and they're a fan of you. You could have all the camera equipment in the world. If you suck, then you still suck. You just suck, and people can see you a lot more clearly. They can clearly see that you suck. I think you might actually get less retention that way.
Right.
Like for me, It's like when they started doing the 4K TVs, and people, the movie industry was all pissed off about that, because they're like, no, 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 no. We don't want these close-ups of our actors because they look like crap now on screen, because you can
Mm,
see right past the makeup in 4K. Remember,
wow.
they had a big problem
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I mean, you could see pores in people's skin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
was
why special effects look so bad now.
wow.
It's partially due to the resolution.
Wow.
Regular HD, there's a little bit of blur to that when you stretch that out.
I
There's
remember when HD first came out, it was nauseating, but that was the clearest picture we had up until then.
yeah, and then you look at it now, it's like, well, if you ever look at an old NFL broadcast or something in
Yeah.
720, it's like
Yeah.
I can't even tell what player that is. But that's the way we watched TV growing up. Looked great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
So
bad audio equals click off video. Yep.
another thing he said was some days you won't
Yep.
be in the mood to record. These are the days you want to edit. On days where you're pumped up, record as much as you can. Like take advantage of your
That's a great
human
tip.
nature.
That's a great tip for people.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like that translates into a lot of stuff. Like I do a lot of, like, when I'm going out on the bike to do, like, today I just did zone 2 training, which is basically just painfully easy
Mm,
riding because you're trying to recover.
mm.
But when you have days you go out there, and there's some days you're like pushing tons of power, like your body is just like, let's go. Then it's like,
Right.
okay, body says let's go. Then you're just cranking out the power and the effort, and just like going to like some terrible place that your brain has never been.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that every day.
No.
You're gonna do that when your body is telling you to do it. Just like you're in a good mood, that's the day to be on screen.
Yeah.
Record as much
And
as you can that way. And when you're feeling like you want to murder the world, that's when you edit.
right. Right. When I'm
Could be bad though. I'm gonna cut out all this stuff. It looked like crap there. I did this video a couple of weeks ago, and it was after a ride, and I came in here and recorded, and I did multiple videos. I batch recorded, and then I went in there. I was like, these are great. This is excellent. I'm gonna go edit all my videos, and I'm good for 3 weeks, until I pulled it up in my editor, because you could just see your face on the little screen on your camera.
yeah.
I had like this white ring around my lips that was just dried up sunscreen, and my nose was all shiny, and I was sweaty. In every clip,
Oh my gosh.
I had to re-record the entire thing.
Dude.
Well, I was strategic. Any part that I kept that I was on screen,
Yeah.
like I edited the whole videos out, and because most of it's you're looking at the product or whatever. So
Yeah.
any part that I was on screen,
Just
I
recorded
recorded that clip and came into the studio and redid the clip exactly the way it was, and then replaced those clips. Just
Wow.
the ones you could see my face.
Right.
But it still took a while to do that. But
That yeah,
I
I would
thought about just uploading it that way. I was like, and then I was no. No. I could see it now.
yeah.
I could just see the comment section on that. It was
Yeah.
bad. It
I
looked
mean,
like
but
I had just brushed my teeth and not washed my face or something.
ah, okay.
It was,
Yeah.
oh God. I should have kept that for an outtake reel or something. But
Yeah,
I
blooper
couldn't.
reel, man. Show people your
I've
reel.
got 4 of them on the channel, but they're all hidden behind a channel membership.
Ah, there's
Yeah,
there's the catch.
yeah, channel membership, blooper reels.
So there's been a lot. If you had to summarize into one list
The
for
quick
the people
summary.
watching, quick
Okay.
summary.
Start messy. Start now. First of all, you want to start a YouTube channel, start immediately. If you're going to start that channel within this week, what was today? Tuesday? If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, this week should be your first upload. Create your channel, get the description for the channel up and whatever, and maybe make a banner or whatnot. Record your first video. I don't care how bad it is. Record it and upload it. And then record another one and upload it. you just want to keep uploading at least once a week, especially if you're just starting out. I would like to try to think that maybe 2 a week would be better if you have no content, because if you do get people showing up that decide they like your content, they're going to want to look around and see what else you got. And if you don't have anything else up there, they're going to be not watching anything else, obviously, right?
Yeah, they may forget about you too.
So probably you want a little bit faster upload schedule at the beginning. Every upload you make notes. I have a big Word document that I have, and each change that I make, I write in there. Number 1, I did this. And second, I did this. Third, I did this. It's like 100 and something lines long of things that I modified or changed, or things that I wanted to try to that I think would improve the content. You implement those. You look at your next video. You see how it's doing. You move on. Keep in mind that you're going to make like 100 videos before you really see anything that honestly is going to be really good. I mean, you're not going to get viewership at the beginning. You can't get discouraged. You might get lucky, but you have to remember it's a long game. This is something that you want to do with your life. You got to be ready to put the long haul in. If you're going to commit to making YouTube videos, give it at least 3 years. Commit fully for 3 years. If you still can't make it go after 3 years, then maybe you need to have a conversation about it. Have a plan. I would schedule my time out exactly what days are going to be upload days, when I'm going to edit. Don't miss your schedule. You gotta have some structure to it. Don't say, well, I'm going to record something. Then it's going to be the weekend and you need to record a bunch of videos in order to keep your schedule. You don't want to do that. So you want to always, I'm using this day to look for ideas. This day I'm going to record 1 or 2 videos, and all the entire while you're doing one little thing different each time. Watch other YouTube content, especially in your niche, to see what is working for other people. And ideally, you don't want to watch channels that have millions of subscribers. You want to watch other smaller channels that are if you're just starting out, look for channels that are between like 1 and 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And just check out their content, that if they're like your type of content, and see which ones of their videos seem to be doing better than the other videos. That's a pretty good indicator. You're like, oh, this guy, a couple hundred views a video, but this one, like 10,000 on here. It's like, well, then you look at it and I wonder if that's that subject, if it's the subject or the guy. And a lot of times it's the subject, because if they're a small channel, it's almost always the subject.
Yeah.
Right. Or they happen to make it at a certain time. You got to look at that too.
Yeah.
Like if you review a product that's just coming out, or it's something around like a viral trend or something, then that would have something to do with it as well. But for the most part, if it's evergreen stuff, then you're going to have a pretty good idea. And just keep doing that over and over and over again. Don't worry about the numbers. They're going to come. Don't worry about subscribers. Subscribers will show up. But you do, inside your videos, want to mention that once in a while, probably near the middle or the end, not at the beginning. Don't start your video off and say, hey, I'm Gregory G-Wiz. Subscribe to my channel for more content. You should be a channel member and this because I'm going to offer this and that to you. And then you get into your content 2 minutes down the road. Yeah, everybody left by then.
They already left. As soon as I said I'm Gregory G-Wiz, they're like, yeah, I'm out.
See, you wait for that stuff at the end.
Yeah.
And that means they've already watched the video. They're very susceptible to join your channel, at that point. Like, oh, yeah, I like this content. I'll hit that subscribe button. Don't just try to force it right off the beginning. That's a sure way to get people to click off.
Yeah, people are smart. Like, they trust that they are going to be smart and they're going to resonate with it and click and subscribe and watch if it makes sense for them. If it doesn't, cool. Thanks for popping by.
I try to overlay that type of stuff into other things, like the asking people to subscribe. Sometimes I end up having to be on screen for it because there's not a spot for it in the video. But if it's like something where I'm showing a time lapse of the food finally getting prepared and putting onto the plate, like the presentation part, I cut the audio there, and then the audio in the background during that time lapse is the subscribe to the channel thing. So I'm not wasting their time asking them to subscribe. They're watching the part where the food's going on the plate and getting all nice and pretty. But while they're watching that, then I'm telling them, hey, subscribe if you like the channel or whatever. A little graphic that pops up, and then it moves on to the end of the video, and that's it. So you got to shoehorn things in to places that aren't going to negatively affect the viewing experience of the person watching, because that's really the main thing.
Yeah, it's all about the experience.
Right.
All
Then you
about
get as you get better and you have more content, then you're going to start getting people that do like your content, that would be subscribers, and then they suddenly see a whole bunch of content that they can watch on your channel because you've been working at it for a while.
Yeah.
And then YouTube says, oh shit, this guy watched 8 videos. Well, now I'm gonna have to show his stuff everywhere. Or this guy watched 8 videos. Those must be good videos. I need to put these on the home screen for other people that are like this person. And then they'll look at that person and see what their kind of viewing habits they have. And they'll say, these other people, they have a similar viewing habits to that guy, and he liked this. So I'm putting this guy's stuff in the homepage. That's how it ends up there.
Yeah.
And if you don't have all that content, that can't happen.
Right.
So over time, that snowballs. In fact, the way it works is if you have, let's say this week you get 100,000 views on your channel. Next week, YouTube will 7x that. They will say, okay, you had 100,000 views this week. Next week, we're going to throw out 700,000 impressions. See what I mean? Like, we'll show the thumbnails to people 700,000 times. It's something like that. I'm not sure the exact number. And then of those 700,000, maybe 100,000 people watch again, maybe 200,000 people watch. Yeah. 200,000 is a pretty high number for that. But you can see as the more people watch, the more people get shown thumbnails, which leads to more people watching, which leads to more people watching, seeing thumbnails, which leads to more people watching, which leads to, see what I mean?
Yeah, and that's how that hockey stick happens.
Yeah, it creates a positive feedback loop. Yeah. And the hockey stick, the last thing we'll talk about is that hockey stick. Don't be obsessed with the hockey stick, especially that hockey stick. The hockey stick where the one where you're talking about where your channel growth is a hockey stick. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at your audience retention of like when people left your video, and there's always this high thing, and then boom, it just drops off down to whatever percentage. Everybody's obsessed with that thing.
Yeah.
I got to change the whole beginning of my video because everybody hates it. No. The big part of that is YouTube showed the wrong video to someone. Or they're sitting on the homepage and your video started playing on their screen, like in the little preview.
Yeah.
The preview affects that too.
Really?
Yes. See what I mean? They don't have to click if they go and see that 30-second, and it's ironically a 30-second preview, isn't it? If you just let it go. And that's exactly how long that stick lasts, right? Because those people didn't click it.
Wow.
Well, now you are obsessing about, I jacked up my intro. I gotta put the next 30,000 hours of my life into fixing the intro. It's like, well, there's a big percentage of those people that weren't going to watch, that either accidentally clicked it, were shown the wrong video that just was on an up next or something, that it wasn't something that they wanted, or didn't like it. Also, there's plenty of people that are just going to not like your content off the beginning. There's a creator that he's a friend of mine. I like him, but he has a problem with that, and that is Viper.
Never heard of
Viper. Viper's pretty well known. He's a tech channel, but his videos open like with, Elijah might know who he is. He starts his videos like, starts just yelling right as soon as he's on the screen, because he's got all this energy and stuff, and he's like the big energy tech guy. But it killed his retention, because I think his click out percentage is an insane number because of that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, if you're building a channel and you're seeing that happen, of course you make modifications to your video to find out how to fix that. I personally have a 5-second branded intro that I still use in all my videos. And everybody tells you, don't do that. You can't do that. It kills your retention. It's never hurt my retention. I can see it in there, and I can see wherever I have a drop, it's dropping before that, and it's dropping the same all the way through it. And then when it gets done, it's into the content, and then it stops. It follows the exact same trajectory that it, whether it's there or not, because I've tried not putting them in there, and it doesn't seem to affect it too much. And if it's an interesting subject, people will stay anyway.
Right.
See what I mean? It doesn't. I could probably take it out of there. It's kind of like this professional thing that I like to do. For me, it adds a little bit of more legitimacy to the channel. So honestly, if you're debating whether to put it in branded intros or not, probably a better idea to stick those at the end someplace and not at the beginning. If you're an established YouTuber, you're more likely to be able to get away with it. If people already know you and they're going to watch your content, it can definitely have a negative effect though. But I've just chosen to pick my poison per se on that. I like putting them in there. I want to put them in there. It's YouTube. I will make my content the way I want to make my content, and that's just the way I'm going to do it. I mean, and just like everybody's like, if people have a super short attention span,
yeah,
then they have a short attention span. I mean, there's a certain amount that you want to cater to that because you're trying to create following.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's your content.
Right.
And that's the good thing to remember for people. Don't sell your soul to YouTube's algorithms and what a handful of people think on YouTube. You make your content the way you want to make your content. If you need to make adjustments for retention and stuff, then so be it. It's up to you whether you do that or not. If you want to grow, probably you got to make some changes. But you don't have to completely sell out and become a cookie cutter type of channel either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do what you want. You can make it work.
I've noticed that in the YouTube formula, Daryl Eves, the thing that in all the case studies that people noticed was that when they stopped trying to do what everyone else was doing or what was working for the big channels or other channels, and they just showed up as themselves, right? YouTube, that's when their growth took off, was when they started showing up as themselves, doing the weird thing that they do that no one else can do.
Right. You seen how many Mr. Beast knockoff channels there's been?
Dude, it's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not even a Mr. Beast fan really, but I mean, it's because it's not my type of content.
Right.
But if I'm going to watch Mr. Beast videos, why don't I just watch Mr. Beast videos? Why am I going to watch your imitation of that?
Right.
Why would I do that? It's
just be you.
It makes no sense.
Right. Otherwise, no one's present. Like,
if you don't want the copy, you want the original.
Right. If I'm trying to be someone and they're not there, but I'm not there either, then who's there?
Exactly. That and if you're trying to be somebody else, that's a sure way to kill your channel too.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna alienate everybody who came in there for you.
Right.
Like that vegan cyclist guy I was talking about, he changed over the years and people didn't like it. And I don't know if it was on purpose. I kind of looked at it and I didn't really see what other people were seeing. I thought he seemed like a pretty good guy. But people in the cycling community, I think they get a little bit, there's a lot of egos there. So especially in racing. So, like, oh, I'm stronger than you. I'm going to have, I got the $20,000 bike and whatever. I'm like, whatever, dude. You're not faster because of your bike.
That's funny.
But it's just, again, it's just being yourself. If people are going to follow you, if people followed you because of you, then they're going to continue to follow you because of you unless you change.
That part.
So if you start seeing a drop in your subscribers and views, like a major one, that's not seasonal, because seasons affect things, especially if you're doing consumer electronics and stuff like that. But if you're seeing like this loss over a long period of time, then that's a good indicator that you need to go back to basics and find out what changed when that drop off started and undo that change. Because there's, you know, your vision is 2020 in retrospect, right? You can
Absolutely.
go back there and you can see with your own eyes what did you in back then.
Yeah. So just start, become incrementally better, upgrade the sound before the lighting, but both need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And be you.
Yep, that video is last. And just be you and be patient.
Yeah.
You have to be patient. You have to. It's hard too. Oh, one last thing is you got to have a conversation with the people around you. That's important. For me, it was extremely important. I had to sit down and talk to my wife about this. It's like, honey, I'm going to take my business and I am going to dump it right in the dumpster. And I'm going to be a YouTuber. And guess what? It's going to be late nights for years. I won't come to bed until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm editing. I won't be able to do certain things and go out at certain times because I'm editing or I'm doing something with the channel. And I'm going to have to spend money on building my studio and doing this other thing. And there's sacrifice. There's 100% there is sacrifice in both time, emotional stuff. People around you are going to be affected in some way or another. So it's not something that you just take lightly if you want it to become a career. Yeah. Because if it's a career, it's not what, people think you just turn on YouTube and there's that idiot Joe with his backward hat and his life is so easy. He just talks like an idiot in front of the camera and he doesn't have any care in the world. I got to work harder than I ever had. This is my third business. And I've had to work harder in this than the other two combined.
Wow. It's powerful, man.
But I enjoy it. It's wonderful. I love it. But it ain't easy.
Right.
It's not easy. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it.
No, it wouldn't be.
Well, listen, man. Go ahead.
No, but it's worth it. And if you're putting in the time and effort, this is the kind of job that you can have that you can take a vacation. If you're self-employed, anybody who's out there who's self-employed, you already know you can't take a vacation ever. Because if you own a small business and you don't have a bunch of employees, which is most of us are independent contractors. Most businesses, they're very small. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't take time off. You have to run your company always. Because if you're not there, you're out of business until you come back, right?
Right.
You don't get vacation time or anything. So people don't take vacations. They don't take time off. They burn out because you're working all the damn time. What if you had a career and you got it to a certain point to where you make money sitting on a beach?
Yeah, that sounds like exactly what my wife said. We were in Florida last week. Yeah. Can you make this my life?
you got 1,000 videos up there and each one of them is making a few cents a view or whatever. Let's say you get to the point where your AdSense is making you like $50,000-$60,000 a year or whatever, plus, affiliate stuff. Like right now I'm at the point where I'll make probably 60,000 out of AdSense this year, which is another thing. AdSense, you can make money on AdSense. People say you can't survive on that without sponsorship. That's a lie. Okay. You can very well do it. It just means that those people haven't. Yeah. Well, you can survive on the AdSense annually. It does this. Right. But if you're making good content, you can do it. Plus your affiliate income, plus sponsorships and whatnot. But all those going together, we go on a trip. We're going to Egypt next month. I'm not going to worry. We'll be gone for 2 weeks in Egypt. The channel is going to make the same amount of money it was going to make whether I was here or not.
Yeah.
And I
Sorry, I
can
gotta start this,
relax.
I
Yeah.
gotta start
Yes.
this greater university. But
Okay. You got to
man, I
do it, man.
appreciate you coming in and sharing these tips
Well, it's not
and
because
not
of the
having to
channel.
work. Yeah, but not
It's not
having
because of the
to
channel.
worry about, whether your business is gonna tank if you leave.
Well,
It's
yeah,
powerful.
it's the first time in my life that I've been able to take a vacation and not be worried about it. I
Wow.
mean, I still got to answer like comments and stuff like that, but yeah,
Right.
that's beside the point.
All
Okay,
right.
but really that's most of what people will need to get them going. I mean, it's everything else is just support and just leaning on people a little bit. There's like places like vidIQ and Think Media and Nate Black, Roberto Blake, Nick Nimmin, those kinds of people. Watch their content, get in their live streams, get tips, use what you can use, discard what doesn't work for you, and that's
Mm.
pretty much it.
Man, you're welcome to come to I'll send you an invite to the greater university if you want to jump in there if you got time.
I got recording to do.
Okay. Well, there we go. See, the man lives what he's talking about. I hope you got some value from this. I know you did. And we will see you in the next video. Joe, thanks for coming back.
Okay.
I know you'll have more for us soon. But yeah, man, let's chat later.
All right. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right. Thanks, man.
Mhm.
Peace.